Hello. Hi, Susie. I better check this is pronounced before I get into trouble. Sorry for the delay. I had a little bit of an accident with my enormous muck wheelbarrow in Meredith. I got it stuck in the barn and had a wrestling match to get it out. And it was such fun. And it took me a while. Up. Come on. And then I got here and I couldn't get onto the internet. Right, come on, wee love. Oh, there's my baby. There's the best girl. Look, go say hello, Wanda. Wanda. Oh, Miss Waggy Tail. We love her, Wanda. So, 'tis Monday, most definitely. And it's been a bit busy old Monday, which is not unusual. And lots of things just keeping us occupied. I did notice that the Mellows truck came exceptionally early this morning, and that's us with another trash container to fill, and we fill it so well. And just the usual barn chores, and the lady who is taking Luigi and Lucy, she's coming down every day to work with them alongside her barn partner, and they're working with both donkeys to help familiarize them with each other. They're going to start hand feeding them so that the whole transfer over to their farm is going to be a very comfortable one, which is lovely. So you'll see them back and forward, and that will be very nice. They're working in the arena at the moment, which was wonderful today because it was such a good temperature you could have your gloves off. Well, I had my gloves off. And so that was nice for a change. The only problem we really have is that we've got a lot of ice underneath the snow. So you'll notice that the goaty dotes didn't come out. They went out the back of Tanner's barn and went, oh, our stomachs, because they hang low and they're in the snow. And yeah, that wasn't really of much excitement to them, to be honest. So they are in their oversized stall creating merry hell. They're having a treasure hunt in their hay because I've put a great big thick pellets of sprouted grains in their hay. So they're all snuffling through that, which I think gets them. There, we're back again. We're not on Wi-Fi. We're on that thing where the phone transmits its thing, because I can't get the Wi-Fi to work, and I don't know whether or not it's the connectors again or what's happening. But the cameras are hopefully coming through this week. I haven't got the delivery date for them yet, though. I do have the dispatch date, and with that, all these connectors will be all sorted out, and hopefully things will move a bit more smoothly. There's also an electrical problem that we found in the cabin that's being rectified at 7:45 tomorrow morning. So if you see any strange men going in and out of the cabin, it's the electrician. So that's being sorted out and will get us moving. Are you coming to sort the internet?
Am I?
Oh no, you just coming to join in?
Yeah.
Nick's coming, which is nice. We have a stool. And so what's going on with the electrics in the cabin?
What's going on with it?
It's not affecting our internet, is it?
No. It's just the actually, well, it will tomorrow, because if there's a guy coming to upgrade the electrical box in the cabin, and I'm assuming to do that he's going to have to turn off the electricity in the cabin. And if you turn off the electricity in the cabin, what that means is that the barn cam will be going off.
Not your yard cam?
Not the yard cam, no.
Okay, so we might be down to one camera.
Yeah, tomorrow, because the whole internet will go off on that side, so We probably won't have the yard cam. Yeah, not the yard cam, the barn cam. Yeah, I always get the two mixed up, don't you? Yeah.
Listen, I can't
They're
find the
both
yard camera.
four-letter words, and like I get confused with them.
My YouTube on my iPad won't bring up the yard camera. I'm oblivious until somebody tells me it's not working. So I don't know what's wrong with that thing. I did try to do that.
I still need to change these connectors. It's the connectors.
Okay.
It's
So but the cameras are, I think, coming in this week. I just don't have a delivery date yet.
Okay.
So that'll be good.
Have you booked in your installation engineer?
Why, are you busy?
Might be. I might have something really exciting to do. Like I don't know. I might have to clean out the fluff on the
Tumble dryer.
tumble dryer that day or something like that. Yeah.
I don't know that you're experienced enough to do that.
Well, not that tumble dryer. It's a bit involved. Cleaning out the fluff on our tumble dryer. It is.
I know. It's the most peculiar setup because you take the front off the tumble dryer and it's about this much from the bottom, and then we get a broom and we poke the broom in and sweep it back and forward and get the fluff off, and then you have to put it all back together again. I'm sure there's actually a technical way that you can do it.
No, I think that's how you're supposed to do it. And
Really?
yeah, the thing I object to is the fact that said fluff then gets left in a big ball on the floor next to the tumble dryer, because the effort required to actually lift the fluff up and put it in a trash can just appears to be beyond everybody. Say no more.
We're so lucky to have you. You're
Yes.
such a little ray of sunshine.
I am, darling, but there's certain things annoy me. Give me a squeaky duck and I'll cheer up.
Squeaky duck. They're chickens.
Chickens, sorry.
Ducks. So that's us. So we're moving on in a. Do you know I got the.
This is my face when I see the tumble dryer fluff lying on the floor. I go, oh, can you believe it?
We're all going stir crazy. There's too much snow. I got the wheelbarrow stuck in the bee barn.
Interesting. Not going to say I told you so.
It was really heavy.
It's very difficult to get in and out of there.
But I did it.
Well, you still get stuck.
Yes, but I still did it.
Still got stuck.
Yes, well, maybe I'll just leave that to you and you can just go and do the bee barn then, you see?
Yeah.
Since you're such a smarty pants. Anyway.
Terrible being great at everything.
It's terrible being great at everything. That's quite correct, Nick. I wouldn't know. Oh, I better open this. Hey, once. Right, would you mind opening it?
Oh, another thing for me to do.
I know, you're so overtaxed. It's from Dodie.
Dodie? This is from Dodie.
It is.
Oh, it's a Russian doll. Did it open it again? What's this? It's a bag within a bag. Within a bag.
Did you put that on the floor? That's so messy. So don't take it out.
Sorry, I thought it was fluff for a minute. Right, okay.
Oof. So this, in this bag is... Oh, look, it's got silver lining.
Every bag has a silver lining.
This is a cover because Dodie has very kindly sent through a mobility scooter for Carleen, and this is the cover for it to keep it dry and clean. I'm going to enjoy watching her put that on because she won't. So we'll hold on to it and we'll put it on. So the mobility scooter got as far as the mailbox, and they decided not to come any further down the driveway. And they're going to redeliver it tomorrow, Dodie. Thank you. And we'll get that sorted out then. So that will be exciting. Not sure if there's building to be done on it. That'll be a you job, I'm afraid.
So, like, apparently we have got the nomenclature of the whole tumble dryer situation wrong.
Oh, well, what we're supposed to do with it?
Well, so first of all, Jerry is saying tumble dryer adorable. I don't know if that means it's not actually called a tumble dryer.
Well, what is it?
I don't know. I think they might just call it the dryer, not the tumble
boring.
dryer. We call it a
How
tumble
boring.
dryer.
Boring.
And apparently fluff is not called fluff, it's called lint. Yeah?
Seriously?
Yeah, lint.
It's not very descriptive.
There you go. It's called lint. And I guess fluff is that stuff that you make.
Oh, that's because you do fluffer nutter
That's
sandwiches.
You do fluffer. Back to the fluffer nutters.
Every opportunity.
I know. They just
I don't know.
Yeah. So that's what you make fluffer nutters with, is fluff, I think.
Well,
Yeah.
it's good. So now you can all go to the UK and you know how to do your washing and your drying, because you'll be using a tumble dryer and you'll be cleaning the fluff out of it. So there. So what's it called? Just a dryer?
I think they might just call it a dryer. Maybe, Jerry, you could confirm that to us, because she seems to be saying tumble dryer, like, adorable. Like,
Well,
isn't that
but
so
it does, it tumbles your
quaint
clothes.
and British?
I mean, a dryer could be just outside blowing in the wind, honestly. It's got to be a bit more descriptive.
It does tumble.
It does tumble. Ours certainly does.
Yeah. Well, it depends how much you put in it. Sometimes if you put enough in it, it doesn't tumble. But you really would have to put an awful lot in that tumble dryer for it not to tumble.
Because it's enormous.
Because it's enormous. You could probably get Larky in there.
Yeah.
He would tumble.
He would tumble.
Not that we would ever do that.
No.
Okay.
No, because he'd let us know first.
So am I supposed to be reading questions at the moment?
I thought that's what you were doing.
No, you didn't ask me to do that. But you know me, any direction.
Please, would you read the questions?
Oh, thank you. I will
Pleasure.
do, yeah.
Did you get right the way to the top, though?
I am at the top, I think.
Are you sure? Oh, how many questions have you got? Because you know what? Sometimes that thing just doesn't go up to the top. I'll have to go on here. Wanda, you have to move over, sweet peeps. Da, 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 da.
Apparently we can put the lint or fluff outside for the birds, so they can make their nests with it. I'm pretty sure the mice have been stealing the tumble dryer fluff, because anytime I find mice and mouse nests, they always seem to have stuff that looks like tumble dryer fluff in it.
Well, if they could only just empty it, it would be
Yeah.
fine.
No, I'm not very good at that, or clearing out their poo.
No. No, I think you're okay with the questions. I don't think I've got... Oh, no. I've got the... no, Carlene actually today said she didn't want to come home at the moment. It was too cold. And she's right, but it wasn't actually that cold today. So,
And it is very nice and warm in that
yes, I know, but...
building.
I know. So, and the bathroom's coming along nicely. It's been tiled today. They're doing a very good job. They've had it all waterproofed. All the waterproof backing was on over the weekend, and then today they're putting up tiles. So that should be finished in the next day or two, maybe.
Yeah, it looked really good.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a really nice bathroom. And I was saying to Janine that I mean it would be really easy to do that in the bathroom in the main house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those big tiles, and
Yes.
quite easy to install. You know?
What, for us to install them?
No, for somebody to do. No, I think tiling's quite specialist. Yeah.
Yeah, it's for people that have got time in their hands.
Yeah. I don't think I would fancy
No,
having a go at
let's
doing
not.
tiling.
Let's not.
I could do floor tiling, I think, but I wouldn't do bathroom tiling.
Okay, jolly good. Good to know.
Somebody was asking, is the heat fixed in the Airstream? Honest answer is I don't know, but we did get the electricity fixed, and I asked Janine if we could leave the furnace on for a few hours just to see how it went, and she said when it was on for a few hours, because the problem had been it was coming on and then heating up to the correct temperature, but then not coming back on when it needed to come on again when the temperature went down a little. So but she said when she went in after a few hours of it running, it was still warm and still blowing. So I'm hopeful that it might have fixed it, but we need to have a proper test to see if it really has fixed it. Yeah. Apparently the FedEx guy just didn't stop. Or something. Dodie, I got to get this right. FedEx annoys me. They came down the driveway but didn't stop to find anyone. Folks said they saw a truck go halfway down and turned around.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that was silly.
Was it to sign for?
Well, yeah, I've never actually... And you know, the funny thing is, I actually didn't think that they would ask me to sign for it anyway, because they normally, even if it's something...
Yeah, I know.
They never... I mean, Nick's had work computers that are supposed to be signed for, and they just leave them at the door.
Yeah.
So it's... I was thinking it would probably get... Maybe this is a new person and he's doing everything by the book. Anyway, so we shall watch out for it tomorrow, and they've got my phone number, so and I'll be on here. So that'll be
I know
just
my
fine.
friend Gary down in North Carolina. He is a special arrangement with his FedEx guy because he gets wine delivered. Yeah. And with it being wine, I think they're supposed to
Check
get
over
a
18.
signature and make sure you're old enough to be buying wine, etc. Not sort of ordering it behind your parents' back or something like that. And having a rager or something. So he slips the FedEx guy some money to leave it for him because he's often traveling. To just leave there with that signature. So at this point we realise we owe the FedEx driver a great deal of money.
Yeah, but we don't drink wine either, so...
That's it.
Saves us lots of money then.
Yeah, to spend on dogs and stuff like that, yeah.
Worthwhile.
They used to have Fugan said they used to have a bucket for the fluff. I'm sure we've got a bucket for the fluff, but
It's full of fluff.
It's probably, problem with the bucket for the fluff, Fugan, is you have to empty said bucket for the fluff on occasion, and so yeah, the system isn't working. Whatever it is, it's not a tools problem. It's an attitude problem with the users. Mm-hmm. It's just called a dryer. Jerry said it is just called a dryer, not a tumble dryer.
Oh, how boring and pedestrian.
Well, you can all start calling it the tumble dryer now and entertain your families and friends and everyone. They come over and they go, you say tumble dryer, and they'll go, the what? We're used to that, of course. Well,
Janine, what do you call that thing that dries clothes?
Dryer?
Yeah, it's not a tumble dryer.
It's not a tumble dryer.
Oh. I'm the only one that calls it a tumble dryer.
I think calling it a tumble dryer is much more fun.
Much more descriptive.
So, Linda is following up with us again about the marmalade and bacon sandwiches, and we were very close, Linda, on actually executing this.
It was a disaster.
But the big disaster was we asked my daughter to go to the supermarket to buy ciabatta bread, and because it's actually really nice if you get ciabatta bread and you put the marmalade in that. And then we cooked the bacon, and she came back with the bread,
and we were good to go.
And we were good to go. All we had to do was apply the marmalade. She bought a garlic ciabatta, so we couldn't do it. So we were halfway there.
No, because that would ruin the marmalade.
Yeah, and I have to say, even bacon on a garlic ciabatta was not.
No, it wasn't a good combination.
It was not a good combination.
And not only that, the garlic, it wasn't just sort of like seasoning. It was cloves of soggy garlic in the ciabatta, and
yeah.
It was not a good experience.
I ended up taking my bacon out of the bread and just eating the bacon. So we were really close. We did try, and we will get there, and we will give you a full update when we have done that.
And pictorial evidence before we eat it.
So you've got washer and dryer. You don't say washer and tumble dryer. You say washer and dryer.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh, washing machine and tumble dryer.
Washing machine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, back in the 1960s, maybe even today, college students were climbing in the large dryers and just having a spin for fun. I can imagine there were a few deaths as a result.
That sounds awful.
That sounds pretty dangerous, actually.
Yeah.
Especially that one of ours. I mean, that thing heats up like to a very high temperature.
Very quickly.
Pretty quickly.
Yep, that would not be fun.
Hose dryer, not tumble dryer.
Hose dryer. That's boring.
The inside container, says Judy Alexander, in the dryer is a tumbler.
See?
But what's a tumbler? You tell the audience what a tumbler is.
A tumbler is somebody in a circus that tumbles head over heels over
what's
heels.
What's a tumbler?
A glass.
It's a glass. Yeah, it's a glass. And then she goes on to that, as well as the glass that you drink from milk.
See?
There you go. There you go. I didn't see that.
Lost in translation. And when you go to the circus, which are not very PC any longer, the people who go head over heels.
It's not PC. This is a circus.
You're actually a travelling zoo. Okay.
Travelling zoo. Sorry.
You've got to get it right. So the people who flip over and over and over, they're called tumblers. So there.
Okay.
So many words, so many uses.
Fernanda is saying the kids had a lot of fun out there today. They must be tired. Who are the kids? Is that the doggies?
Oh yeah, they were running around like Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
They were having a great time.
They did.
But they were exceptionally naughty, and because the third pond, which is the pond that feeds into the in fact it's only one pond, there's two ponds. So the pond that feeds into the big pond, it's really low at the moment because it was so dry, and there's no water in it, and there's about that much ice. So the barrier that goes across that secures our farm from the state forest is actually exposed. There's about this much room because the water's so low, and all of the dogs went to Partridge Berry by themselves and then came back.
Did they?
Yes, they did. They did.
How did you know they were up there?
Because somebody phoned.
Who phoned?
A very helpful lady. In fact, it was the lady whose children, I think,
oh, really?
come visit. Yes, she called Carlene, and Carlene phoned me. And then I came down and told Janine she was in big trouble. And then we got the dogs back, and they went, "Wasn't us?" And we went, "Yes, it was."
So who all was up there?
Sizzle and Penny and Larky. Wanda is not daft. She was here.
Yeah.
She's a good girl.
Good for her.
Yes.
So, what do you call the stuff that you clean dishes with?
A dishwasher tablet.
No. yeah. That is probably what you clean dishes with, darling. Like when you're cleaning them in the sink by hand.
I call them Nick.
No.
Oh.
Yes.
Washing up liquid.
Washing up liquid.
Is this a test? Or what's it
Correct.
called here?
Again, the rather unimaginative dish soap. What's the fun in that?
It's washing up liquid.
Washing up
honestly.
liquid, guys. Let's get with it. Come on. I want you all to start using that going forward. There will be a test.
You know, I think when you borrowed our language, you made it very unimaginative. Oh, it's got to be more descriptive.
Okay. Washing, another funny one is washing up liquid. We call it dish soap.
I know.
Yep. Apparently peanut butter fluff is good. Can't imagine it'd be very good if you put it in the tumble dryer though.
Is that not a fluffer nutter?
Yeah, fluffer nutter on saltine crackers apparently.
Oh.
It's supposed to be nice.
Oh.
Bella's on. Hi Bella.
Hello, Bella. Ziti. Saltine crackers.
Right, I've got a loaded question for you.
Oh dear.
Were the donkeys let out to roam last night, or did they escape?
Don't be ridiculous. Janine left the gate open.
So,
And my poor daughter came down. So I was mucking out in the arena, and Harley and Angus came with the goat, the single Pringle. They came storming down the hallway, and they were like, "Ta-da! Here we are." And I was like, "What are you doing there?" So I opened the gate, and they all came in, and they were no help with the mucking, I might add. And then the next thing is, Ava came down, and she brought George down, and another couple of donkeys, and she said, "Mum, there's donkeys. They're coming up to the house." She brought them back down. So we just herded them into the bit and popped them away. But and then Janine said to me, "Oh, the donkeys are out," and I said, "No, I think we've got them all." So they were back.
The Linda is asking if we can have a video update on the White House.
Yes, I think Janine wants to do that once we've got the bathroom in, because there's bits and pieces all over the place as they're fixing bits or the materials are all out in the main living area. But yes, we will.
Yeah, maybe end of the week, beginning of next week, or.
Why do you think we put the floor down?
Well, I thought they would. Well, I was thinking about that. I was thinking they'd probably do that last, once they put those, or at least after they put the base cabinets in.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the kitchen, and then do the floor. I think part of the danger of doing the floor while you're still working on it is you end up damaging the floor.
Yes.
So, but I mean, they'll do the floor in a day. I mean, it's doing that kind of floor is really quick. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So somebody else was asking if the floor was down. It's not down.
It's in boxes though.
Yeah, and we've got it. It's on site, and I think they're working on putting the bathroom floor down. So yeah.
Yes, because it's tiles.
It's really nice.
Yes.
It's very it's quite blingy. Yeah. Exactly compared to ours.
It'll be good. Yeah, a lovely setup for Carleen.
Why is Sizzle being so antsy?
Oh, because Janine's on the other side of the door, and she's been. It was dinner time. That's what was going on. So, Wanda's been fed in here, and Sizzle's fed on the other side. Dinner time always gets everybody excited.
Hilda's saying her hubby ordered a bottle of wine from DoorDash the other day, and he had to get his ID even though he has grey hair, a beard, and he's 70. I'm sure he appreciated the compliment.
Well, do you know, I find it the funniest thing. They card everybody, and I didn't even get carded when I was 18 in the UK. I've obviously always looked old, but it's such a peculiar thing, because there's no way you would look at me and think, well, she's under 21, but they just card everyone, and I presume it's so that they don't cause offence.
I think it's two things. I think it's so they don't cause offence, and so that people don't get crappy with them.
Oh, and say that they're being discriminatory.
And say, well, our policy is to.
Yeah.
And I think also it's a legal thing, because at least they can say, well, listen, we always card, and.
Janine and I got caught out in that when we went to Pennsylvania, and we'd been to the preview for New Holland, which is never pretty, and we'd been through there. There's lots of it's can be quite an upsetting situation, really, and so we'd been there on Sunday night, and we were going through the rescue halls, and we decided to go back to the hotel, and we went into the what am I going to call this? The petrol station. What are those called?
Gas station.
I went to the gas station, and and she picked up she buys these little tiny bottles of wine, and she picked it up and put it down, and they said, do you have any identification? And she went through her wallet and she went, no, I don't actually, because we'd already dropped stuff off in the hotel. And so she looked at me, she said, have you got any identification? And I went, no. I didn't have a thing. So she did have her international travel pass, which allowed her to get on flights, something or other. So she said, how about this? And they were like, no, it'd have to be a passport. And we went round and round and round and round and round and round, and they wouldn't accept any of her identification. So and I didn't have anything that was suitable either. And so we had to leave, and then we went to the next gas station down, and they didn't card us once, and they let us buy it because probably we looked A, desperate, and B, old. So it was a bit of an eye opener.
So yeah, Sandy Sola likes calling it a tumble dryer.
See, very sensible.
Thank you, Sandy.
Although you do also get a condenser dryer, which is a bit tricky because it does tumble as well. But instead of putting the moist air out through a vent in the wall, it condenses it into water and it puts it in a little container.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to empty.
You have to empty.
Like the lint, the fluff.
That's very true, Nick.
Yeah. So Marilyn Moore, who I keep wanting to call Marilyn Monroe for some reason. I'm not sure why. Well, I do know why, but just like she's saying. She's starting to find some of our Scottishisms sneaking into her speech.
Well, you've got to be careful with that.
She loves tumble dryer.
Yes.
And she started saying needs must and get it sorted.
Get it sorted.
I think that's your fault, darling.
Yeah, I know. You get very stuck in a rut with things you say.
How did they get there by themselves, asks Fernanda.
The dogs. They used their 4 legs, the little stinkers. Well,
to be clear, they didn't go out round the road and go around that way. No,
they went through the back.
Yeah.
They were in Janine found the hole and has sorted it all out, but they've obviously just found a gap and gone for it. And what they do is Janine's been working, she's been clearing out the G tent all day. So they were actually in the G tent with Janine until one of them's obviously discovered an exit route, at which point the 3 of them left, and she was used to them just going round and round in circles. And they took themselves off in a very naughty fashion.
Gosh, that's awful.
What?
Roger said he lost a cat in the dryer years ago.
Oh dear.
Jumped in when he was putting his sheets in.
Yeah, because I bet you it was warm. That's very sad. Sorry about that.
Awful. Sorry. Is it true that using the word bloody is just as bad as a swear word in America?
You see, I don't know.
I don't think it's that bad. It's like bloody hell, or where's the bloody hammer? I need to do some work, or I can't find the bloody Hoover. Why is it not in the cupboard?
I remember as a very young child, I think I must have been about 7 or 8, and I was watching a documentary actually about a war, and I'm presuming it was probably the First World War, and they kept saying bloody battles because there were rivers of blood, and I realised that this obviously wasn't actually a banned word, so I could obviously say it because bloody just meant full of blood. So I think I duly stalked up to my mother and told her that I was actually able to say bloody because it really wasn't actually a bad word, and henceforth I would use it. At which point I think I was probably set right and told that that wasn't the case. But I will say, when I was in junior 3, so 5, 6, 7, 8, and I was 8 and I was in school, and we used to have to do this, we had elocution lessons, unbelievably, and deportment classes, and there are these things where you learn to knit, seriously, and embroider. Ooh. And so obviously being, I mean, I'm a star at ballet and all that sort of thing. So you can singing, and so you can appreciate that, knitting would go along in the same vein. So we did this blinking knitting nonsense, and I'm sitting there, and we would be told, get out your knitting, and you had the little desks with the lids that flipped up, very archaic, and you'd get your knitting out, and you'd sit and you'd do a few rows if you were good at knitting. So I obviously was really neat and tidy in my desk. It was an absolute shambles, and that'll come no surprise to you, dear. And I lifted the lid up, found the knitting needles, pulled them. I had the knitting needles on one hand, completely bare naked, and my wool and...
The knitting needles, that is.
Yeah, not me. And my ball of wool on the other hand. And the little bit, I was making a scarf, it was that wide, okay? My little scarf had come off my knitting needles, and it was slowly but surely unravelling as I kept trying to pull it, and it was a mess. And I think I said, oh, bloody hell. And because this was really quite a catastrophe for me, because I was not skilled in the knitting department. And the blinking girl sitting beside me.
Bloody girl.
She walked up to the teacher, who was called Mrs. Rankin and didn't like me very much anyway. And she went up and she said, I'd just like to tell you that Elizabeth used a very bad word. And she said, what did she say? And she said, I can't tell you because I'm not allowed to repeat it. So I got sent down to the head of the junior school. Honestly, it was like a Spanish Inquisition. I sat down and they said,
a bloody Spanish Inquisition.
So they said, so do you know why you're down here? And I'm thinking, well, probably because I end up down here on a regular basis, whatever. And I said, no, I don't. They said, there was an incident in class today. And I'm thinking, what incident was it? And I thought, what could I possibly have done now? And they said, I said, no, I'm not sure what you're talking about. And they said, well, it was to do with language. And I was thinking, I can't think of anything naughty, I said. So I said, I still don't know. And they said, it was about knitting. And I thought, well, I could tell you lots of bad words I know about knitting, but, I haven't used any of them today. And then she said, well, it was to do with the fact that you lost your knitting stitches, which apparently is what it means when you've got your needles in one hand and everything else in this hand. And I went, right. And she said, so what did you say? I said, oh, it was okay. It wasn't bad. I just said bloody hell. And I think they just about went, be still my heart. And I sort of looked at them and thought, well, that's kind of tame. And they said, where on earth have you heard such dreadful language? And I said, my mother uses it all the time. And they said, well, we're going to phone your mother and tell her that you have said that she uses bad language. And I thought, my gosh, good luck with that. And so they did. So they brought her in as well. So she had to come in. And they explained the situation, which I thought was a bit of an overreaction, to be honest. And they explained the situation, and they said, and then she used the words, bloody hell. And my mum sort of went, oh, how awful. Huh. And then they said, and then she claimed she learnt them from you. Silence. Honestly, how to throw your child under the bus in one fell swoop. So, anyway, after that, knitting's a no-go.
Yeah. Lucky the knitting hadn't gone really badly wrong, otherwise you've used the other word.
Yeah, I'd have stabbed someone with the needles. Honestly.
Yeah, I tend to think of the word bloody in this context as a very kind of light and acceptable version of the F-bomb, yeah? So instead of saying bloody hell...
Well, Pam on Meredith, she always laughs at me. She says, I go around saying, oh, bloody hell, when things are all, we're all a bit awry. And they're quite often awry. So, I've never felt it was really that offensive, actually. But I suppose it depends on the ears that are hearing it. I don't know. That's a tricky one. It's certainly not meant to be offensive or Well, you see, the thing is, you see over here, people say crap all the time. And I always thought crap was quite a bad word. So we wouldn't in normal conversation say crap. But it seems to be quite common usage here.
Yeah.
Isn't it? There you go. Let's just stick to tumble dryers, gas stations. Oh, they're actually petrol stations. Garages. That's my other favourite. Garages.
Garage.
Whatever.
Some of the Outlander fans out there start saying things like I. I.
Ah, no, that's very regional.
And do you ken?
Oh. Fit like. That's
Dinna ken. It's kind of more
Aberdeen
kind of language.
Yeah.
The Irish use bloody a lot, I'm sure they do. It's funny the way you say ballet with the accent on the A. How do you guys say it?
Ballet.
Ballet. As of a ballet. We say ballet.
Ballet.
I think they may say ballet.
But you see, now that I think about things, I can't remember what's...
Yeah.
It's very difficult because we've got the whole spelling with the S and the Z, or the Z, whatever you want to call it, that complication. And when you first come here, your eye always goes straight back to the way you've always spelt it. And now I sit there and think, is this American or is this Scottish? And it's spelling I always get mixed up with, and so I flip-flop between the pair. Yeah.
Fernanda's saying that she doesn't need any help with saying bad words from her mother. It's okay, Fernanda, your mother's not watching. Not like Elizabeth's, probably.
No, neither's mine, so it's fine.
Jiminy crickets instead of the F word while teaching. That's what Fernanda used to say. Oh, Jiminy crickets. Yeah. Yeah. Or oh, fudge. Do you know you used to say that? Fudge?
No, I just say, oh my goodness.
All right, here's the very loaded question from Hilda. You really shouldn't have asked this, Hilda. Did your mom say anything to you when you got home from school?
Oh, I got it. I got the, how dare you? And I'm like, well, I was only being honest. They asked me a question and I answered it honestly. My mother swears like a trooper. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't the done thing, obviously. I actually couldn't understand why they were getting so excited. It was the most bizarre thing.
I know. Yeah, it's one of those... Depends which part of town you come from. You know, some of those rough people on the north side of Glasgow, they use the word bloody like a comma. I mean, it's like...
It's like it's going out of fashion.
You know, so... whereas, you know, south side of the city, we were a bit more proper than that, to be honest.
Yeah, so refined on the south side.
Oh, dear me. Do our children have Scottish accents?
I thought they were going to say, do your children swear profusely? They do, actually. They're absolutely atrocious.
They probably swear more than we do.
Yes, it's awful.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Bloody hell.
It's a travesty, actually.
Anyway, they don't really have Scottish accents. I mean... No.
No? Okay.
I mean, I wouldn't say they have very American accents either, though. They've got this kind of...
What do they call it? Mid-Atlantic?
Mid-Atlantic accent.
Yes.
I think Sophie sounds quite English, actually.
Well, don't tell her that.
Yeah. But not sure.
Well, the funny thing is, when we were in Scotland, people always used to think I had an English accent.
Sorry, say that again. I was distracted by Wanda.
What? It's okay. You're fine. When we were in Scotland, people used to ask me if I was English.
That's because you're so proper, though, darling. It's because she comes from Bearsden.
Ow, that's my
sorry.
sore
You were going to
finger.
flick me there.
I know, it's because you were being rude.
Yeah.
Honestly.
So I think ballet is a French word, and there is no accent on ballet. Not correcting you, Elizabeth. I enjoy your accent anyway. that's from Fernanda.
I don't know.
I don't know where this came from. Robin's talking about Z
Z.
is used in ham radio so it can be distinguished from other letters over ham radio transmissions.
What is ham radio?
It's like CB. You know,
Oh, right.
Like,
For in trucks and things like that.
yeah,
Right.
I think so, yeah. Or I'm not sure if it's for trucks, but it tends to be something they have at home and you can
Right.
talk to other ham radio enthusiasts. I think.
Right.
Yeah. How's Noodles? He's having a real problem actually with shadows at the moment. He just is this, and it's every evening now, and it's becoming quite tiresome. He sits there next to my chair or stands there next to my chair, and you know, I move around. I'm not one of those people who sits entirely still in the chair, and there's kind of lights up above. Depending on where my shadow's hitting the wall, he starts like going through the wall, and he just stands there staring at it for hours, and eventually starts playing it and things. It makes him very uptight, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And then the worst thing is if I take off my glasses, and sometimes when I take the glasses off, they create little reflections on the wall and the floor, and then he's starting to try and attack the little rays of light, and he just doesn't understand what's going on. It's very sweet, but also I feel quite sorry for him because he just can't figure it out. And I'm hoping, you know, it's maybe just a little phase he's going through, but it's been going on for over a month, and he takes it very, very seriously. He'll sit there for hours just looking at these shadows and trying to catch them, and all the rest of it. So, but no, he's very happy, and he's doing very well. And it keeps him occupied, you know. So keeps him busy. All right, I didn't know that. So ham radio is amateur, so you don't. But if you're CB or Citizens Band Radio, you need to have a license.
Oh gosh.
Didn't know that.
I did not know that either.
Be an amateur. All right, hold on, I'm getting confused here. You need a license to be an amateur radio operator.
Goodness.
No, it was, yeah, I'm not quite following that, Robin. I would have thought you would be the other way around. You need the license to be the CB operator. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe you could confirm that. How old is he? So Bella's asking how old is Noodles. How old do you think he is now?
He must be coming up for a year, I think, although I can't remember. I'm not the person to ask about dates.
I think he's probably about 10 months physically. Mentally, he's still about 6 months. He's really bright, and I think he's really clever, but he's just a big puppy. He really is a puppy, isn't he?
I'm actually going to write a daily doggy about Noodles.
Yeah, he doesn't really bark at the shadows, Nancy. He's like, he's just fascinated by them, is he? Like he sometimes he starts barking at me, like going, Dad, look at these guys over here, these shadows. And I'm like, what? He's like,
yeah, he does. He's a wee sweetheart.
Yeah, he's very sweet. And he just loves the snow.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. He just loves it. He just rolls around in it. Yeah.
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 He does.
All the other dogs are coming out, so it's getting a bit cold now. He's like, yeah.
That's because he's so fluffy.
Yeah, he said Bella is saying it could just be a fear thing.
Yeah.
Because Ziti did the same thing. And then
He might just go out, but you're right.
could do, we'll see. Like, he's very serious about it though, Bella. We may need your help.
There's another dog for you.
I don't know. Yeah, Carlene said that Noodles is smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is smart. And I think Kate said that as well, yeah?
Yes.
Kate's a dog trainer.
Yep. She's a dog behaviourist.
Okay. I think that's everything.
Goodness.
If I missed anything, I'll go back and try and reply in chat. Okay.
Yes. Well, thank you very much, and it was lovely of you to join us. Well, if I lift her, I need to scoop under her bottom. Oh! And Wanda's come up to say good night. You going to say night night woo woo? Oh. She's like, no.